Alrighty, back with another update video for the 282T project in HO scale. So, whole lot of things and whole lot of changes to go over to it, but I'll try to keep it short. First major deal is that we've changed the size of the body to make it a little bit more to scale. The boiler's a little bit bigger, the kind of the saddleback tanker's a little bit bigger, as well as the cab. If you can kind of look at it from the side there. Get the light to improve in this room at some point in time, but leave it for now, I suppose. Moving on. Kind of started to put together the chassis and came across a lot of sort of expected but not quite as detrimental problems as I was anticipating. Basically, what kind of what's going on is that we have electrical pickup coming from what is supposed to be this caboose with a fairly poor paint job, go up through the motor and back, and there's this big old resistor right here in order to step down the voltage so as not to blow out this little guy, which only handles 1.5 to 3 volts. HO track, if I'm not mistaken, ranges, I think depending on what ranges obviously from close to nothing if you're kind of crawling your engine along up to about 16, which causes this thing to go nuts. I've tested it at 16 and it doesn't do very good. So that's gonna have to change, because this wiring setup is just insane. I don't really want to have a car always behind it. I want to be able to decouple this, send it off, pick up something else, recouple it, etc. However, it does actually run. I can't show it to you now because it turns out the chassis, even with the kind of the body, is too light for the track. So the back wheel just sort of spins and it won't go anywhere. In addition to that, the alignment of all of these little pins that are supposed to, you can kind of see them here. So it's the 1, 2, 3, and then, well, I mean, I guess that would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are like really tiny bolts, and that's a little, kind of a brass, bit of brass tubing that's been tapped, and the bolt sits in there. And what happens is this motor runs a little worm gear setup that's supposed to move that wheel that moves the rest of these. However, the issue is that because these weren't cut to length, and I cut them and ground them down once they were installed in the wheels, the torque of the Dremel that I was using caused it to go from sitting straight up and down like this to, you're kind of coming from the side, cutting into something, and that causes the overall thing to kind of sit from there, and then you're cutting into the side. It pushes it that way, so it bends, and now none of them are aligned properly. In addition to that, the way these were squeezed onto the actual axles that are kind of hidden, you can see them there, but they're hidden behind that one. The wheels are all a little bit crooked, which doesn't help with how the drive rod moves. So I need to figure out a way to increase all of my tolerances. Mind you, I'm doing a lot of this by hand with a kind of a fairly poor ruler, but I need to increase all of my tolerances by probably one. I'm probably out of tolerance by like at least a millimeter, like everywhere. So that needs to improve, obviously. So improvements then. What we're going to change. The wheels are going to be solid instead of these kind of plastic see-through, although I do like that. It looks better. It looks more realistic, because, I mean, obviously those are, well, not see-through, but they actually have like the little supports in the counterweights. You can kind of see that one there. I mean, that looks cool. Just like it does on the real deal there. You can kind of see it. That has been translating to a lot of just structural stability issues. So I'm going to make it a solid piece with dips where the holes are now, and probably paint those gray so it looks like it follows through. Not sure what to do about the axle yet, but as for the kind of the hole where the little brass bolt or the little brass insert goes with the oh, actually there's an idea. I wonder if they sell really tiny brass inserts. Probably not. But as for that, that's actually just going to be replaced just with a tap hole so that I can just put an incredibly tiny drive screw to hold this into place. And then the hole there will be, well, the bar too will probably be much bigger than what it is now, just so that there's a little play both back and forth and up and down. So the wheels will drive, but that'll accommodate like probably a 0.25 to 0.5 tolerance change. Additionally, there still needs to be front and rear wheels, and figure out a new way to do the electrical pickup. The drive rod was replaced, I should mention since I have this guy here. The drive rod was replaced from being a 3D printed part, which is this thing, you can kind of see the holes and all that, to being a brass part, because initially when I tested it, the torque coming off of this motor shredded the plastic piece and it just ripped it all up. Yeah, so a lot of this has to be brass. And by all means, you know, if somebody who has built brass locomotives before happens to stumble across this video, or just anybody who sees it like has any ideas or suggestions on how to fix this and not spend a crazy amount of money on like tooling, I am all ears, because I wanna get this going. This is cool. I mean, it's coming together, but still needs a lot of work. Anyways, thanks for watching.